What you are about to experience is out of this world. Politics, history, and of course, a lot of entertainment. It's time to rock it with the Docket.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Kyle Dockery with the Dockery Docket. We are here with our very 129th episode of the Dockery Docket. I'm excited to be here, and I hope that you are excited to be here as well. And if you are excited to be here as well, make sure to go down below, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, so then you never miss one of my videos. So, this week, once again, we have to go back to 2016. But don't worry, we won't be there very long. I just want you to remember how scared the media and the Democratic Party were of Donald Trump when he won the election. They thought that Trump was going to enter the White House and instantly go after his political rivals. He would go after and arrest Hillary Clinton for destroying classified information. Most of the times during Trump rallies, there were chants of lock her up. He would also make up charges about Barack Obama and arrest him. And then he would go after Joe Biden or any other Democratic nominee. You remember this, right? However, all of that didn't happen, and the Democrats and the media were claiming that Trump was literally going to destroy our democracy, and he was a threat to the Republic. And this is why a few weeks ago I made that episode called Framing Trump. In that episode, I talked about the plan that was orchestrated by the Hillary Clinton campaign, as Hillary Clinton's campaign worked with the Obama DOJ to label Trump as a Russian asset. And I thought that that was the end of the plan, and once Trump lost and left office and Joe Biden won, they wouldn't need to go after Trump anymore. However, there is still one more evil step to this plan, and that was for Joe Biden to come in and use his DOJ to go after Donald Trump to prevent him from ever running for president again. As you have probably already heard, Donald Trump was once again indicted, this time in federal court for his mishandling of classified documents. I have made an episode about this situation when the FBI raided Donald Trump's home to find different documents that Trump didn't hand over. Now, in that episode, from the sources that I used, it looked like Trump was working with the investigators and the FBI to make sure that they had all of the classified documents that he had. However, according to this indictment, that wasn't really true, as according to the indictment, Trump and his personal aide named Walter Notta were responsible for moving documents from the White House to Mar-a-Lago. Now, these documents weren't kept in a specific room like I thought, as the documents traveled a lot in the Mar-a-Lago complex. As at first they were kept in the white and gold ballroom, then in May they were moved to the bathroom in Mar-a-Lago's lake room. Which, I mean, I know that people get bored on the toilet, but keeping classified documents there is very strange. Don't use it to wipe.
Away from the deep end now.
Oh, that's nasty.
Then they were finally moved to a more secure location in a basement storage room, which is the place where I think that Donald Trump put a lock on the door, and then the FBI came in and said that he needed a stronger lock. He got the stronger lock, and then when the FBI raided Mar-a-Lago, they broke that lock. Now, when these documents were in the basement, a situation happened where 80 boxes fell and paper went all over the floor. This was found by the same Trump aide that we talked about before, Notta, and he found that one of those documents was marked secret and could only be seen by the Five Eyes intelligence agency, which referred to officials from the US, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, and the UK. So it looks like Trump was a little bit sloppy when it came to these different classified documents, moving them from place to place. However, it gets worse, as Trump himself authorized an undisclosed number of boxes to be sent to his golf club in Bedminster, New Jersey. And at that club, he talked to one of his aides on a recording about some of these different classified documents, as Trump was talking about Mark Milley and how he thought that Trump wanted to attack another country, which people are assuming is Iran. But in the indictment, they refer to it as Country A. So, in this recording, it is reported that Trump said, "He said I wanted to attack Country A. This was him. This was the Defense Department and him. I just found it. Isn't that amazing? This totally wins my case, you know? Except it is like highly confidential, secret. This is secret information. This was done by the military and then given to me. I think we can probably, right? I don't know, we'll have to see, yeah. We'll have to try to. And then an aide responded by saying, declassify it. And then Trump responded by saying, see, as president, I could have declassified it, but now I can't, but this is still a secret. So as president, Donald Trump did have the power to declassify any document that he wanted. But now with this document, Trump is saying that he can't declassify it because he's not the president anymore. Which means that Trump should not have been sharing this information with people that aren't a part of the government or don't have special security clearances to review these documents. So this is a pretty big deal for Trump, as he had classified documents and didn't treat them right, and he was talking about them with his aides and lawyers and other people. And mishandling classified documents goes against the law pertaining to classified documents. As according to bng.org, it is important to note that mishandling classified documents is not only a criminal offense, but also a violation of national security. It is a federal crime to mishandle, misuse, or abuse classified information, as it can potentially harm the United States and its interests. So this is a pretty big deal, and all of this led to Donald Trump to be the very first former president to be federally indicted, which is crazy to me because presidents in the past have done a lot of shady things and have gotten away with it. John Tyler left the Union and went and joined the Confederacy. FDR put Japanese Americans into internment camps. Richard Nixon wanted to bug the Watergate Hotel to get information on the Democrats. Bill Clinton lied under oath claiming that he didn't have sexual relations with Monica Lewinsky. Well, there's something on the blue dress that shows that you did. George Bush lied about WMDs being in Iraq. And Barack Obama killed an American citizen in the Middle East using a drone. So the question on everyone's mind is this really bad for Trump? Is Trump going to go to jail? Well, if the indictment is true, then yes, it does look very bad for Donald Trump, as Donald Trump did mishandle classified information and really didn't want to work with the FBI or the National Archives to give certain documents back. As Trump reportedly said, I don't want them going through my stuff. Was this because he was secretly handing over the nuclear codes or our secrets over to the Russians? Or because Trump thought that they were his own personal documents and that he felt like it was unnecessary for people to go through his stuff? That is what the court will have to figure out, and you can make your own opinion on that as well. I personally don't think that Trump is a traitor or was handing off these different secrets to the Russians or any foreign country, which is why I don't like that Trump is being charged under the Espionage Act, as that is usually reserved for spies and traitors to this nation. I think that Trump just had these documents because he thought they were his and he could do whatever he wanted with them. Some of the boxes have letters from world leaders and other memorabilia, while other boxes contain classified information. Along with this, even though Donald Trump was charged, it doesn't mean that he will go to jail, as luckily for Trump, he has a pretty solid defense, as this is not the first time that a president, a vice president, a secretary of state, a person running for president, a national security advisor, or an FBI director have had trouble handling or mishandling classified information. We will start with Sandy Berger, who was a national security advisor for Bill Clinton. He is best known for stealing highly classified documents from the National Archives by stuffing them in his pants, and then when he was in the clear, he put them under a construction trailer. So then if the FBI searched his home, he wouldn't have to worry at all. Later, he was caught and was fined and sentenced to 2 years of probation and community service. Yes, that's it. Remember, for this charge against Donald Trump, they want to give him 90 to 100 years in prison. And speaking of Bill Clinton, did you know that he also had a little bit of an issue with some tapes that he stuffed into a sock drawer? This right here will be the biggest defense for Donald Trump, as this case could exonerate Donald Trump. This case started when Clinton was interviewed 79 times during his presidency by a historian named Taylor Branch. After they were recorded, Bill Clinton stored them in his sock drawer, and then when he left the White House, he took them home with him. No big deal, right? Well, Judicial Watch had a problem with it and went after the National Archives and Record Administration, as Judicial Watch claimed that there could have been classified information on those tapes. And Judicial Watch sued so then the National Archives would give them over so they could see what were on the tapes. However, in this case, Judicial Watch lost, and the National Archives were able to keep Bill Clinton's tapes a secret. In her ruling on this case, Judge Amy Burma Jackson claimed, the president enjoys unconstrained authority to make decisions regarding the disposal of documents. Although the president must notify the archives before disposing of records, neither the archivist nor Congress have the authority to veto the president's disposal decisions. Now, doing research on this certain case, there are articles claiming that these are two different things, as Trump had classified documents and Clinton just had tapes of him talking. They argue that Bill Clinton was just using it to write a book, and it didn't really have information that threatened the United States. However, I still think that Trump's team will use this defense. Will it work? We don't really know. We'll have to wait and see. But now we move on to the big stories involving classified documents, and that, of course, is with Hillary Clinton. I know you've probably heard this from so many people, but it is absolutely crazy how similar the story of Donald Trump's documents and Hillary Clinton's emails are. As after her work as Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton still had all the emails that were related to her job as Secretary of State. So she decided to move all of her emails over to her own private server. And at first, Hillary Clinton defended these emails by claiming that they were just personal emails about a yoga class and her daughter getting married. But then, as they dug deeper, an inspector general of the intelligence community told members of Congress that Hillary Clinton's private email server contained information that was classified at a higher level than top secret. This was a pretty big deal in the 2016 election, as James Comey and the FBI decided to investigate this server. And when the investigation was over, James Comey said something that changed the idea of what happens to someone that is in possession of classified information. As James Comey laid it out perfectly, just like Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton was sloppy with these different documents. Here is James Comey saying that.
Although we did not find clear evidence that Secretary Clinton or her colleagues intended to violate laws governing the handling of classified information, there is evidence that they were extremely careless in their handling of very sensitive, highly classified information. For example, 7 email chains concern matters that were classified at the top secret special access program at the time they were sent and received. Those chains involve Secretary Clinton both sending emails about those matters and receiving emails about those same matters. There is evidence to support a conclusion that any reasonable person in Secretary Clinton's position or in the position of those with whom she was corresponding about those matters should have known that an unclassified system was no place for that conversation.
Along with that, with Trump's documents, there is no way that a Russian spy could come in and take these different documents. They are locked in Mar-a-Lago, and Mar-a-Lago has a lot of security. And they are physical paper. Trump could talk about these different documents, but if Trump were talking to China or Russia about our national secrets, that country wouldn't know if Trump was bluffing or not. And I also don't think that Trump would do that, but you never know. However, with Hillary Clinton's emails, there was a possibility that someone could have hacked it, and all of a sudden our national secrets are with China or Russia. I mean, we found these emails on Anthony Weiner's computer, so you know that it wasn't kept safely. Here's James Comey talking about how these different emails could have been hacked.
With respect to potential computer intrusion by hostile actors, we did not find direct evidence that Secretary Clinton's personal email domain, in its various configurations since 2009, was hacked successfully. But given the nature of the system and of the actors potentially involved, we assess we would be unlikely to see such direct evidence. We do assess that hostile actors gained access to the private commercial email accounts of people with whom Secretary Clinton was in regular contact from her personal account.
So according to all of this information that was laid out by James Comey, it looked like he was going to say that Hillary Clinton was going to be charged with a crime. However, James Comey instead said this.
Although there is evidence of potential violations of the statutes regarding the handling of classified information, our judgment is that no reasonable prosecutor would bring such a case. Prosecutors necessarily weigh a number of factors before deciding whether to bring charges. There are obvious considerations like the strength of the evidence, especially regarding intent. Responsible decisions also consider the context of a person's actions and how similar situations have been handled in the past. In looking back at our investigations into the mishandling or removal of classified information, we cannot find a case that would support bringing criminal charges on these facts. All the cases prosecuted involved some combination of clearly intentional and willful mishandling of classified information or vast quantities of information exposed in such a way as to support an inference of intentional misconduct or indications of disloyalty to the United States or efforts to obstruct justice. We do not see those things here.
This is what bothers me about this whole situation, as when this stuff happened, of course people were coming out and talking about Hillary Clinton's emails and Joe Biden's documents in his garage, which I really didn't go into detail with because I made a whole episode about it, and I think that this episode is running long, so we have to keep on going. But it is also important to show the two forms of the justice system. Anyway, people were claiming that when Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton found out that they had classified information, they took them right to the National Archives, and they were working with the FBI 100%. This is a total lie. Hillary Clinton was under investigation and she was out in her backyard with her aides smashing BlackBerry phones. Then, when she was still under investigation, she used a special program on her computer called BleachBit that destroyed her emails and could never be seen or retrieved again. Do you really think that she used BleachBit for yoga emails? Come on. And Joe Biden has been senator since 1972, and no one even cared to look for these different documents till Donald Trump's home was raided? Remember, Joe Biden had documents from when he was a senator and from when he was vice president. And why would Joe Biden, a senator and vice president, or Hillary Clinton, a secretary of state, even have classified information? Remember, it is only the president that can classify or declassify different documents. And I believe that James Comey made a mistake in not charging Hillary Clinton. Because if he did, then people would say, yeah, Trump should go to jail because he did the exact same crime that Hillary Clinton did. It looks like Joe Biden should go to jail because he did the crime that Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump did. And it looks like Mike Pence should go to prison too because he also had classified documents. But because James Comey said that Hillary Clinton shouldn't be charged, it created a precedent for people that had classified information. And it makes this whole Trump case look like Joe Biden and his DOJ are going after the front runner for the Republican nomination. Wait, hold on. Isn't that interesting? That is exactly what Donald Trump was impeached for, even before Joe Biden decided to enter the race. Trump just made a phone call asking the president of Ukraine to look into this Hunter Biden scandal with Burisma. And guess what also happened this week? The same exact day that this indictment for Donald Trump came out, the exact same day, the Republicans came out and testified that there are recordings of Hunter and Joe Biden talking with a Burisma businessman about a possible $5 million bribe. So if this is true, then Trump was right to look into Joe and Hunter Biden. But the DOJ doesn't care about that. They are more focused on Donald Trump and his papers. When Joe Biden is asked about this bribery scheme, he's able to laugh it off and claim, come on, man, where's the money? And when Hillary Clinton is accused of wrongdoing, she can go on Twitter and sell her "but her emails" hat. We get it, Hillary. You got away with a crime. Quit rubbing it in our faces. However, the truly scary part about all of this is the political implications that will come if Donald Trump is arrested, as this will open a Pandora's box that will never be closed. If Trump goes to jail and still runs for president, which he can still do, and let's say that Trump wins from prison, then he can instantly go after Joe Biden and arrest him, maybe for these different bribery charges. And then when Trump is out of office, a Democrat comes in and they go after Donald Trump and arrest him. And then when a Republican takes over for that Democrat, then they go after that Democrat and they throw them in jail. And the cycle will just continue to go over and over and over again. Every little thing that a president does will be seen with a microscope. And I think it'll lead to a situation where maybe on the final day of the president's term, the president steps down, lets the vice president take over, and the vice president, which becomes the president, pardons the president of all of their wrongdoing because that's the only way we can get around this. And I mean, this is for both parties, as Trump has already claimed that if he wins the presidency, he will go after Joe Biden legally. So right now, both of these men are playing a very dangerous game that could lead to our country descending into chaos, and that would be Joe Biden and his DOJ's fault. There is an unwritten rule: don't go after your political opponents. There are countries all over the world that do this. They arrest their political opponents opponents over and over and over again, and they call them banana republics, or they call them dictatorships, as dictators from the past were known for arresting their political rivals. It's bad for the country, and our country is already so divided, and if Trump goes to jail, the GOP will claim that there are two justice systems in America, and the Democrats will claim, well, Trump deserves to go to jail for his wrongdoing. This will lead to more division, and it could lead to a possible civil war, and none of us want that. And with that, I just want to thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Dockery Docket. And until next time, like my mom always says, be good, be kind, be loving, goodbye.
We just have to demonstrate that he will not take power if he does run, making sure he, under legitimate efforts of our Constitution, does not become the next president again.